Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. This is an unusual video for several reasons. One, I am holding a box cutter in my hand, and I have this box cutter because we are actually going to do an unboxing today. Now, this is an unusual video and an unusual boxing. One, I am doing this during the day, and I normally shoot pretty late at night, but it is daytime, and a package just arrived, and I cannot wait to open this box up. And part of the reason why I can't is because it's 250 amazing Spider-Man comics. 250. The guy shipped it in a regular cardboard box. I'm not certain if there is any kind of protection inside the box versus 250 loose, amazing Spider-Mans just bouncing around. So my thought was, let's record this thing and let's save it for posterity just in case we have some issues down the road. So again, I'm doing this during the day, so there's a chance that we could get interrupted by any number of family members who are still roaming about the house at this hour of the day. So let's go, let's crack this thing open and let's see what we have inside. So I feel a little bit better. He actually put it in two, let's see if I can get this thing right, two boxes on the inside. So that's cool. Alright, so there is actually some decent stuff in here. A lot of the books are definitely mid-grade books, and I'll have to go through here in more detail. But there are some nice books in here. Definitely some nice books. Couple that I don't have that I'm spotting already, which is nice. Will definitely help me out on my run for ASM. Definitely some good stuff in here that we will either hold on to or repurpose. Little Madam Web action right there. Definitely a cool book. I've had this book in my collection forever. Really nice copy of that. Little Hydro Man action. 212. 213. What is that? Mud Man? Can't remember that monster's name. A couple of newsstands in here. Let's see what we have in this box. Alright, so it appears that everything checks out. I'm actually going to spend probably a considerable amount of time. He actually rebagged and boarded everything, which is really nice. So I'm probably going to spend a considerable amount of time here going through these boxes to see exactly what's inside of here, making sure that it matches up against the original listing, to make sure that it is indeed the 250 comics that that it was supposed to be. My hope is that it is indeed accurate. And, I mean, a lot of these appear... Oh, wow. There we go. Little Todd McFarlane action right there. Can't beat that with the bat. Is that two of those? Oh, there we go. Chameleon. That's a nice copy right there. Just happened to pull those out. So there you go. You cannot beat that with a bat. Very, very nice. So stay tuned as I continue to work my way through these short boxes. I may actually put a clip at the end showing you guys some of the nicer books that have been pulled from these two short boxes that just arrived. So it has taken me some time, but I have managed to work my way through the 2 short boxes that arrived earlier today. And I can tell you, I have taken out a huge portion of my run with this purchase. There were a lot of books in the 500s, the 600s that I did not have that this collection actually does have. And so it worked out quite nicely. There are a lot of books, however, in here where I have doubles or triples of. So I'm actually going to find a good home, hopefully, for some of those books. And I've pulled out some of the books that I want to highlight for you guys. Some of these books will stay with me, and I typically mark them with a piece of tape. Those that are going to move on to another house won't have the tape. So one of the books that is a really low grade copy is Amazing Spider-Man 78. This is a really low grade copy. It's actually in Mylar right now, but it looks pretty good there, but it's actually pretty rough. Same thing with number 63 here. This is actually a really good story. This guy broke out of prison. He became the new Vulture. Vulture freed him, and then they battled, and the original Vulture ended up winning out and maintaining his dominance as the one and only Vulture. This is a really cool book. Amazing Spider-Man 67. This is some early Mysterio appearances. This one is a really, really good book. One of my favorite early Spider-Man story arcs. I think it only ran 2 issues, but it was a fantastic read. Definitely enjoyed that one. And then the other one here is Amazing Spider-Man 76. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier. Somehow or another, I have ended up with probably a dozen of these over like the last year and a half. So I'm going to actually pull out a couple of other books here out of the pile, just kind of randomly jumping around this box here of books that I need to keep. And again, those that will find a new home. Here is a really low grade copy of 195. And I'm actually going to keep this one because my copy of 195 is actually worse than this one, but it's actually a pretty decent one. This is one 201, little Punisher newsstand action there. I did not have that in the run, so now I have it. Definitely pleased to have that. 209 is another one. I don't think there's anything significant about this. I've actually had this book in my collection for a few decades, but my copy is a little faded, and so this is a really nice copy of 209. There's a copy of Madam Web in here. There's 212, some early Hydro Man action. Lot of books that just are needed for the run. Nothing incredibly special. So I'm just kind of scrolling through here. I actually just picked this one up, 239, picked it up a few days ago. Didn't pay a whole lot for it, but now I have a second copy, so it is what it is. Flipping through here. This book right here, 261 Amazing Spider-Man. This book is so difficult for me to find. Well, let me restate. I found it at least 3 times, and each time there was something wrong with the copy. Either there was a major rip or a major tear or something like that. So I'm definitely pleased to have found this one, and it's actually in nice condition. Here's this book was all the rage. I think it was last year. This is the first appearance of Baby Normie. This is Amazing Spider-Man 263. Normie is significant because he went on to be related to the Red Goblin at the end of last year. So I'm kind of flipping through some books here. Here's 278. Absolutely needed this book for the run. Definitely glad to have that. There is actually a healthy number of Kraven's The Last Hunt in here. So that's really cool. This is part 2, Amazing Spider-Man 293. There's 294 in here. There is a healthy portion of Todd McFarlane's run in here as well. This is 302. Here's 303. 304, nice copy of that one. I actually worked on the Todd McFarlane run several months ago, and so I actually have a complete run of it already, but I'm planning to keep a couple of these on hand. This is 306. This is a homage to, or an homage to Action Comics 1. Here is Chameleon appearance. Again, Todd McFarlane. This is Amazing Spider-Man 307. Nice copy of that. So there's actually, some nice stuff in here. None of them are like 9.8 candidates, but they're still nice books nevertheless. So a bunch of Todd McFarlane stuff in here. Really cool book here. I already have a couple of copies of that. We have, I think this is a second print of 361. Never had that in the collection, but I don't think that I'm going to hold that one. I have several. I think there was like 17 or so in here that I actually need. So I'm definitely pleased with the purchase. I'm pleased that everything turned out okay with this. This was a little risky, but I'm definitely pleased with this one. And the way that this deal actually went down is I originally saw this on eBay, reached out to the dude, offered him a fair amount less than what he was asking for the run. And he countered, and he wanted still, in my opinion, too much money for the run. And so I actually turned down his counter. 2 weeks go by, the books haven't sold. I get a message from him where he is offering a discount. I think it was like a 25% or something like that discount. And the price at that point was much closer to where I originally made him an offer. And so I kind of met the guy in the middle and accepted it, reached out to him, had some conversations with him about the books and how he was planning to ship them. I thought we were all set. And then the guy basically lets about 9 days go by, and there was no shipping information. I reached out to him probably halfway through the 9 days, like, hey, can I get an update on what's happening with this shipping? No response. On the 9th day, I get a tracking number. Then it goes completely quiet again for a couple of days. I send the guy another message. Hey, what's going on? I just see the tracking number. Can you provide me some kind of update? Radio silence again. So now I am starting to think that it is a scam, and I was not very pleased because on one hand, I really wanted these books. On the other hand, you know, I don't want to be taken advantage of. And so I waited, I think it was 2 more days. And on the second day, I actually received an update from the post office that the guy had actually dropped the items off at the post office. Because up until that point, it was just the tracking number. Nothing had been dropped off. And I think it said like still awaiting materials or whatever the disclaimer is. And it was the package was supposed to arrive on Friday. It actually did not arrive on Friday. It was still in Ohio on Friday. And then lo and behold, on Monday, it is out for delivery and it arrives today. So I was very pleased that it arrived. I think that the transaction could have gone a lot more smoothly. And I am actually debating how I want to provide feedback on this guy, because the books I think are fine. They're basically what he described. But the non-responsive nature and the delays in shipping don't really sit well with me. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle it. And I'll probably leave some feedback. I just need to decide how strongly I want to word it. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Certainly, if you need to reach out to me, don't hesitate. I'm always available at Regie Collects on Gmail and Regie Collects on Instagram. Take care.